Thank you so much for joining us here on Ubuntu Radio, South Africa's Public Diplomacy in Action. My name is Tari Munjezi. We bring you this important conversation. As you know, that we're constantly monitoring South Africa's program and activities as far as South Africa's presidency of the G20 is concerned. I'm quite happy that there's an important program that will be taking place later in the next 3 days from the 21st, because the United Nations General Assembly will get a briefing from South Africa about its G20 program as well. So I'm quite happy that our Sherpa will head that important program representing South Africa. Now, the program will outline our priorities and some of the issues that we'll be putting on the agenda as far as leading to the Heads of State Summit is concerned, but also the program throughout the year as we deal with many different issues that the different working groups are going to be looking at. So this important initiative is not in a vacuum because, as you may be aware, the General Assembly Resolution 71327 entitled the United Nations in Global Economic Governance is adopted in 2017, back in 2017, that the practice of informal engagement between the United Nations and intergovernmental groupings that makes policy recommendation or take policy decision with global implications, including, for example, the G20 through the informal briefing organized at the initiative of President of the General Assembly. So South Africa is heading to the General Assembly to brief about its G20 program as well. So we thought we should talk to South Africa's G20 Sue Sherpa, who is the also the Deputy Director General for Global Governance here at the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. Ambassador Mabongo, thank you so much for your time and being available to speak to us this morning. Tell us about this important program. Well, it's not unique. This is a tradition within the United Nations system that the G20 president go and brief. Ambassador, you are muted.
Okay.
We can start
good morning. Good morning, and good morning to your listeners at Ubuntu Radio. Yes, indeed, there is a tradition whereby the G20 president each year visits the UN General Assembly to brief the whole membership of the United Nations about the priorities of the year. So South Africa will be undertaking the same visit. So our Shepherd, Mr. Zane Dango, will address the UN General Assembly on Monday, the 24th, in New York. And the aim of this briefing is really to share with the membership of the UN as a whole the priorities that South Africa has set for 2025 for its G20 presidency. There is, of course, a complementarity between the work of the G20 and what the UN seeks to pursue. So if you look at the priorities that South Africa has set, they revolve around the Sustainable Development Agenda, which is similar to the agenda of the UN, issues of climate change, gender equality, financing for development. So the G20 and the United Nations as a whole have got a lot of complementarities in the themes that they are pursuing. So that is why this is important. I think of importance as well is for South Africa to get feedback from the rest of the UN membership about what they think about our priorities. So this is not just a one-way briefing. We want to hear how the UN members think we can enhance our work as the G20 president this year, especially in view of these complementarities.
What kind of input do they give in this kind of briefing? As much as you said, it's not a one-way, there's also a complementarity. What kind of viewpoints do they bring? Do they suggest maybe an addition to some of the key priorities or strengthen South Africa's positions and inputs?
They will seek to strengthen South Africa's positions first, to the extent that there is an overlap on the agenda. If you look at the priorities that we have set, financing for development, the issue of debt sustainability, which the president has been highlighting, issues around critical minerals, gender equality, and all of those. So all of these are areas where we expect, especially developing countries that are members of the G20, they will be putting a stress on this, highlighting how important it is for South Africa to ensure that our presidency achieves concrete outcomes on these very important issues. So it will be enhancing our work, But there may also be other suggestions that may come from the UN member states to say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? But in general, our agenda that we have set for our presidency is quite broad. So I think even those issues that may be additional, we would find ways of accommodating them in our agenda for 2025. As you know, the G20 has got about 15 working groups under the Sherpa track, ranging from anti-corruption to education to science to earth and to environment and climate, etc., etc. So clearly, I think it will be difficult to find areas where they are not covered in our broad agenda. But still, it's important that we go and get this feedback from the rest of the UN membership.
And then one will also be wanting to establish at what level are these engagements. Yes, we'll brief the General Assembly. Who are we meeting in terms of representation, also as far high as the United Nations Secretary General's office or the undersecretaries?
So we will also be meeting other stakeholders in New York that are very much relevant to the work of the G20. Remember, the United Nations also takes part in the work of the G20. They've got their own Sherpa for the G20. So our Sherpa will have an opportunity to meet with the UN Sherpa for the G20. Secondly, there will be a meeting with the UN Deputy Secretary General, Ms. Amina Mohammed. Ms. Amina Mohammed's role as a Deputy Secretary General at the UN is basically to lead the UN efforts on the 2030 agenda and the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. So a conversation with her is very important. But outside of that, there are other stakeholders who are based in New York, such as the well-known economist Joseph Stiglitz, such as the International Peace Institute, and others. So it's an opportunity then to reach out to a broad range of stakeholders who are based in New York, again, to get their advice and their inputs into the work that we will be doing.
In terms of this important program, what some of the outside engagement, talking about the other stakeholders that are important, are you going to also be engaging with the broader sphere as far as also members of the public, but also the media and the academia, for example?
Yeah, so there will be a meeting with the UN Foundation. So the UN Foundation is basically a platform for engaging academia, civil society in New York around the same issues. But the International Peace Institute is also very important because a part of the work that the G20 does and the concerns that the G20 has are about the issue of the geopolitical situation in the world, which is rapidly changing. And the International Peace Institute will therefore, I think in that meeting, there will be quite a meaningful dialogue to hear their views and what they think about the evolving global geopolitical situation. So these are all very important engagements. And of course, I spoke about Professor Stiglitz, who's a well-known economist who has also done work with the UN on development issues. So there is that broad range of stakeholders. But the Sherpa, Mr. Zane Dango, will also have an opportunity to address the international media at the UN. So as you know, we need to socialize and make the work of the G20 known in as wide platforms as possible. So he will have an opportunity at the UN to address the international media that is based at the UN, that is following the same themes. Again, there, I think it will be a very dynamic interaction with the international media.
Ambassador Mabongo, these engagements are really at a higher level. One will also want to establish in terms of what are some of the response that we're going to have, given the fact that there's a lot of attention now being given to South Africa.
We started our presidents of the G20, as you know, on the 1st of December. We have had now the first round of meetings where many of them were virtual. That was our plan, that between January and the end of March, we will have virtual meetings in South Africa. So we have now had the first round of these meetings. So from the end of March up to into April until November, we will have a series of in-person meetings in South Africa across all the themes of the G20. So the first message that we will be conveying is that so far, since we started in December up to now, as you know, we also had the foreign ministers meeting in Johannesburg, in Nasrec. What we gather is that there is a broad support for South Africa's priorities. So this was expressed in December during the Sherpa meetings. It was expressed at Nasrec during the foreign ministers meeting. So that will be for us the first message that we will be conveying, that indeed we are pleased that for all the meetings that we've had so far, there is a broad support for South Africa's priorities. G20 members see these priorities as priorities that are pertinent in today's world. They feel that these are the things, what South Africa has put on the table, are things that the world needs to grapple with in 2025. Secondly, we will also be really conveying the message that in this context as well, there is a very important sense of urgency towards the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Remember, we are 5 years before 2030. So this is another message that we got from the meetings that we've had so far. So we will be explaining this to the members. In regard to geopolitics, again, our sense is that we should be building on the work that Brazil did on their presidency and India before that in terms of how we manage and tackle geopolitical issues in the G20. So we managed in Brazil, we managed in India. We think in South Africa, we should be able also to build on that, focusing really on the importance of international law, human rights, the United Nations Charter. Remember also, in this year is the 80th anniversary of the United Nations and this charter, and we made this point in the foreign ministers meeting. If you look at the Charles summary of the foreign ministers meeting, it did highlight the fact that 2025 is the 80th anniversary of the UN and the UN Charter. So this is a context in which we want to pursue the geopolitical issues in the G20 and when we come to discuss that. So those would be some of the responses that we would be giving in the various interactions in New York.
What else are we going to look forward to in the coming months as South Africa engage with the international community, but particularly on the G20 as its president of G20 this year?
So there are a number of international events that are complementary to the G20. So the first one is the Financing for Development Conference of the United Nations, which will be held at the end of June in Seville, in Spain. So again, there's a very strong synergy between what we are discussing in the G20 on financing, on debt, on trade, and what will be discussed in Seville in Spain at the end of June. So that is one synergy. So that's one event that we're looking at. But also remember, at the end of this year, Brazil will also be hosting the COP30 of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC. So again, as we prepare for our G20 Leaders Summit in November, and as we do the work in the working groups on climate change, we will be working closely with Brazil to make sure that this conference that they will be hosting, COP30, almost at the same time as our G20 Leaders Summit, we also work towards the same goal to make sure that we keep the world under 1.5 degrees Celsius. So we will be using this to build that momentum. You may have seen the op-ed by our president and the Prime Minister of Spain and the President of Brazil, where they were actually pointing out that these three events are complementary. There will also be later also the World Social Summit, which will also be looking at the social issues. So there are all these other high-level events that complement the G20. So we will be looking into that, into working to galvanize our efforts and combine our efforts and build synergies and make sure that these events succeed. Because at the end of the day, these are not events for their own sake. These are events that should deliver for the international community, deliver for our people, especially in the Global South. So we're looking at them from that lens.
Well, that's how we're going to wrap it. But also, I can't let you leave without asking you this important question as well. Why should South Africa care that South Africa, their country, is a president of the G20?
They should care because this is an opportunity for South Africa to set the global agenda, to basically influence global policies. So the G20 is a very important grouping because just because of the size of the countries that are there in terms of their GDP contribution to the world, the size of the populations, the total population of the G20 members. And also you alluded earlier to the P5. They are also part of the G20. So the G20 has got a special heft in the world. So we, by being the president of the G20, therefore we have this opportunity to influence global policies, to make sure global policies respond to even to the challenges that we're facing at home, the triple challenges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment. These are things that we've put on the agenda. So we want a global international environment that will enable countries like South Africa to be able to tackle the challenges that we are facing by coordinating policies with these other major countries.
Ambassador Mabongo, let me thank you so much for your time being available to speak to us. All the best in your program briefing the United Nations General Assembly, but many engagement that you're going to have in New York from the 21st. Let me thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, and thanks to your listeners.
Lovely. Thank you so much. The Sue Sherpa for G20 for South Africa, Ambassador Mabongo speaking to us, heading to New York to brief the United Nations General Assembly or the United Nations General Assembly on these important issues as far as South Africa's presidency of the G20 is concerned. We are on Ubuntu Radio, South Africa's public diplomacy in action.